Looks like this is started up. We're good to go. Okay. What is going on, Colts Nation? Appreciate you joining me for another one of these videos, another one of these live streams. Sorry I couldn't get this to you yesterday. Worked a day job all day, putting in some overtime. So wasn't able to do it yesterday, but hey, here we are, right? Colts play tomorrow. Let this serve as a little bit of a preview for what's going to happen tomorrow. Technically a training camp day. Obviously, training camp at Grand Park is done. This is the last day of training camp, and this is going to be the last day of practice during the preseason after the preseason game. Colts get 10 days, right? The game is on not, of course, the Sunday a couple days after, but then the next week. Everybody in the NFL takes a week off after our last preseason game, and then we have real NFL football starting. So, going forward, really looking forward to the season starting and looking at what is going to happen in this Bengals game will tell us everything we need to know about the team going forward, right? Now, I don't know at this point if the Bengals starters are playing. Let me just go ahead and look that up here while we're here. But I know the Colts starters are going to be in for a quarter and a half, maybe the entire first half. Some starters will play more than other starters, but it sounds like the offense could use the guys playing. So we'll see what happens there. Hoping to see, I just want to see the starting offense get into a rhythm. They obviously don't play against the Cardinals, but they performed well against the Cardinals in joint practice. So it's really what I want to see is just, can our starters on offense come into a real game situation and put up points? Can we stop having struggles on the offensive side? And what are these struggles on the offensive side? Why are we struggling so much on the offensive side? We need to figure that out. So that's what I want to see in the Bengals game. I need to see the starters put up points, okay? I want to see us put up 20 points in the first half. That would be the ideal situation. So let's see, we're looking at Bengals starters playing Thursday. Let's see. Okay, so the Colts starters are going to be playing the Bengals backups. It sounds like that is from the Indy Star just 40 minutes ago. So doesn't seem like the everything here is talking about the Bengals are not going to be playing their starters. So yeah, for sure our guys need to be putting up points. Like there's no other option. Our guys have to put up points. You're playing Cincinnati's backups. Like, you have to come into this and be able to put up points. So that's what we're going to be looking for from our offense. Daniel, what's up, man? Good afternoon. Appreciate you stopping by. Really like to see this offense get a little rhythm. Yeah, exactly. Got to get something going, man. We got to get something going. Can't be going into a regular season having seemingly so many issues on offense. Like, what is the issue? How do we get it figured out? But I think I have the answer. I honestly think I have the answer, and we're going to get into it. I'm going to switch you over here. Excuse me. All right. So, as we start here, you can see excuse me. You see here, Ashton Doolin back from his hamstring injury. So we're getting somebody back. You know what? Let me go ahead and adjust this for you guys. I didn't realize I was pulled all the way out here. Let me bring this in. Bring this in. Bring that out. Make this a little bigger for you guys so you can see. Okay. There we go. Get you guys a little bit better view. So we have Ashton Doolin back from his hamstring injury, which is good news. Anthony Richardson, proof of life. The daily practice video coming from James Boyd here. And then other injuries. No sight of Jelani Woods or Juju Brents. We had a video that came out at 12 o'clock today. No, I think it was actually 11:30. I released that video about Jelani Woods and Raekwon Davis and the injury updates there. If you didn't see those videos, and after we're done here, go check that video out. Juju Brents, we'll see later on in all of this and all the updates. Juju Brents going to be back sooner rather than later. It's just a nose injury. Why can he not practice? Why can he not play? I don't know. Seems a little soft to me, if I'm going to be completely honest. And stuff like that people talk about, Indianapolis is so soft because of stuff like that. But hey, whatever. I think he probably should be on the field. He missed so much time last year. I don't know why he's letting a nose injury keep him off the field. But Juju should be back sooner rather than later. Trey Sermon, though, does remain out. With the hamstring injury, no sign of him yet. So Evan Hull, I assume, going to continue to take on the running back 2 role there. Really like Juju. Yeah, he's got to be able to stay on the field. It's really that simple. Like, if you're not staying on the field, then, like, what are you doing? Just like we talked about Jelani Woods. And obviously Juju didn't miss all of last season, but, at what point do you just say, okay, this guy doesn't bring enough to us because he can't stay on the field, so we're going to find somebody that can fill a roster spot that's actually going to be able to get on the field, right? Even if you're a bottom of the roster guy, you got to be able to play at some point. You got to be able to perform at some point, right? Special teams, whatever it is. So you can't have guys that are just taking up roster spots because they're always hurt, or that are always hurt. So unfortunate for Juju, unfortunate for Jelani, the 2 guys we're looking at. But here you have you have Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor just getting some play action work in. Some good one-on-one drills, or routes on air drills, I should say. Then you have the update starting where real practice starts. Lots of pressure on Anthony Richardson during the first 11-on-11 period. 2 sacks. And he went 1 for 4 with the completion to Will Mallory. So starting off, offense just not doing well, right? Which is exactly the opposite of what we saw last week against the Cardinals in joint practice. Our offense was able to get things going early and often. A lot of touchdowns. Offense was able to dominate. So what we're seeing from the offense. And now Lou Anarumo, his defense, Lou Anarumo knows what he's doing with the Bengals defense. One of the better defensive coordinators in the NFL right now. So I assume he was doing a lot of things to just frustrate the offense, to get the offense out of their rhythm, and not giving the offense, what they want to be able to do. But I also think, they were wanting to work on certain things, and because they were good at it, they weren't really able to work on things. And you'll see more. I actually don't think I put it in here. The Bengals defense was getting at AR about running too much, whatever that was. If guys are covered, AR, that's just part of the game. He uses his legs. You'll see later on with the updates, Joe Flacco used his legs too. So it seems like, maybe, hey, the Bengals just getting frustrated about quarterbacks running because they don't want to defend it. Maybe if they had to defend a running quarterback, it would open things up in their defense in a big way and expose them. So maybe that's what I'm thinking from that aspect. But we'll see more of this stuff going forward. There's a lot that happened today or yesterday in practice. And then George Brimmer here. Struggles continue for the first team. AR now 2 for 7. Timing seems off with the receivers. The next update, Richardson is now 2 of 8 against a chirpy Bengals defense. Work has been mostly intermediate in timing routes. Offense still has about an hour left to turn things around. So I think early on the Colts offense wanted to do certain things, right? 2 of 8, intermediate and timing throws. Now the Bengals, somebody on the Bengals defense, one of the quotes that came out was that they were saying, he doesn't throw. He only throws the spots. He doesn't throw to receivers. Yeah, well, that's part of the job is throwing the spots. Your receivers are supposed to be in spots. That's what Manning did. That's what Brady did. Like the receivers are supposed to be in a certain spot. It's what the offense is designed to do. Also, I think that when you're talking about intermediate and timing throws, this is like going into, especially in practice, you're saying, this is what we want to look for. Go ahead. Let's see if it works. Okay, this is practice. If it doesn't work, we need to know. So, hey, let's see what we can do with this adjustment and trying to read this, with this adjustment and trying to read this, right? So I'm not going to sit here and harp too much on not doing well in practice. It's practice. We're working on things. The Bengals are working on things. We don't know the details, so I don't want to go too crazy because of what happens later on. So again, kind of flipping the switch, and we'll see that here in a little while. And then Nate Atkins, this might be the worst Colts offensive practice of training camp so far. Bengals defenders are chirping and honestly seem annoyed to not be challenged better, which is exactly what you don't want to hear from an NFL team. Like, hey, we're practicing with this team and we're not even getting challenged enough. The offense just didn't bring the heat early. Then you have Colts' first team offense is struggling. No one looks comfortable, including Anthony Richardson. He's 2 of 8 passing, and the Bengals players are talking so much trash, and rightfully so. Then George Brimmer here. Will Mallory's been the bright spot for the Colts offense. He caught a touchdown from Joe Flacco and has been solid overall, which is kind of what we've talked about throughout training camp was, with Jelani Woods and his situation, it seems like Will Mallory could take that spot, and this practice kind of solidifies that. And then you have another update here by George Brimmer. Richardson and the first team finally get on the board. Low red zone touchdown to A.D. Mitchell. AR is now 4 for 12 with a touchdown, a pick, and 3 unofficial sacks. So obviously offensive line through all of training camp, really, whether it's our defensive line, now the Bengals defensive line, our offensive line, we got to make sure we have things figured out going into the season. Again, is the offensive line working on things? What could they possibly be working on where they're getting beat like this? Is it a problem with Anthony Richardson not setting correct protections? Is Ryan Kelly not setting correct protections? What's the issue with protection, and why are there so many sacks? That's the real question. Hey, maybe Anthony Richardson, right, the Bengals defense is upset that he wasn't throwing enough. Maybe he was just having to scramble and run. Maybe the pressure was just there all the time, right? 3 sacks. Maybe they got more pressure and it was disturbing the offense, making Anthony Richardson run and have to scramble. Okay, but then you have here Anthony Richardson finds A.D. Mitchell in the end zone for a touchdown, one of the rare bright spots for the Colts' first-team offense today. Ironically, Laquan Treadwell drops a wide-open touchdown pass from Sam Ehlinger on the next series. No unit has looked good. So whatever it is, right, it's one of those situations like whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Laquan Treadwell, it's good news to see he's practicing with the third team. He's with Sam. Right, in the past he's been playing with Jason Bean and Keaton Slovis. So seems like he moving up a little bit, getting in some good graces, but then drops a wide open touchdown. Exactly what you can't have happen. So unfortunate there from Laquan Treadwell. And this was the field goal post that our kickers were kicking on today. The Bengals bring this thing in. It's a mobile upright, which I've never seen before. They have a mobile upright, and it's leaning way to the left. Okay, that's what our kickers had to deal with today. Nate Atkins, okay, the Colts offense is getting it together now. George Brimmer, best set of reps by far for Richardson. Went 3 of 4 with 2 completions to Pittman and 1 to Pierce. Incompletion intended for Mitchell in the end zone. Then Angela Morian here. Finally, a positive-looking drive from Anthony Richardson. 3 straight first downs, 2 to Pittman, 1 to Pierce. Then a nice scramble for nearly a first down. Bengals injury derails the drive, but overall good drive for the Colts' first offense. So, we had things going. Unfortunately, the Bengals, one of their defensive ends, got carted off the field. And, that little break, stopping the momentum of what the Colts had rolling, and obviously giving the Bengals a chance to kind of regroup and talk about things and figure things out. We're unable to get it done and get the ball in the end zone, but nonetheless, offense finally started to get rolling. Then you have Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco runs in for a touchdown after a huge gain on the ground. Colts sideline goes nuts. And then George Bremer just expanding a little bit here with the Joe Flacco scramble touchdown alert. It was about an 8-yard touchdown, but he also had about a 20-yard scramble earlier on the same drive. So Joe Flacco able to get going on the ground as well, which is what I was saying, right? I think the Bengals defense is mad that our quarterbacks weren't throwing more. Well, hey, maybe you should stop coming at the quarterback so hot. If you come at the quarterbacks and you leave open lanes to run, it makes sense to run. That seems common sense to me. If you give us a chance to pick up yards, we will pick up yards. From that aspect, I like that the Colts quarterbacks are doing that. Also, I'd like our receivers to be able to get open and be able to have time to find our receivers open down the field is what our quarterbacks really need. Flacco doing good. Yeah, I really enjoy having Flacco as our backup. I feel really comfortable having him there with whatever's going to happen this season. If we have to have him in the game, at least we have him. Feel really good about who we have in the quarterback room this year. And then George Bremer here, Bengals offense drive halted by a sack by Kwity Paye. Very good drive for the Colts defense. And I had seen some other stuff. Actually, let me come back here. I might have it bookmarked just a little lower here. Let's see. I could have sworn. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So let's come back here. So this is what I saw. Okay, this guy said Burrow went 23 for 26 with multiple touchdowns. And then, I don't know why it always does that. Took me right back to the top. Here we go. Okay. And then here, Scony Colt, one of the better follows for Colts Twitter here, went out. I don't know where he got this, but he says not even in the 10 snaps the Bengals took in the red zone, Burrow picked up his fair share of completions, finishing 14 of 18 on the day, but nearly all were short throws. Colts starting cornerback Jalen Jones picked him off twice, and the Bengals couldn't pick up first downs when given a chance to move the ball. So overall, seems like both offenses kind of struggled today. It seems like defense dominated practice from everything that I'd kind of gathered. Right, and then here, like I said, starters going to be playing about a quarter and a half coming up on Thursday. I thought I'd put some more little notes in here. Doesn't appear so. It's all right. So where did we leave off? Here we are. This is a good update for everybody. I just put out a video yesterday that not very many people watched, but we can all relax on Matt Gay. Okay. The situation is that he missed those kicks probably because the holder is a backup kicker who's never been a holder before. Matt Gay ended up kicking yesterday, went 5 for 5, had 37, 42, 47, 52, 57. Nailed them all, even with the crossbar that leaned left, which actually he missed left, so maybe leaning left kind of helped him. But either way, going to need to figure out why he's going left. But he was 5 for 5. And drilled them all, moving back 5 yards each time. So feel good about that. Also feel good about this. Richardson in the offense, their hurry-up drive goes 3 for 5. 2 completions to Granson, 1 to Pitt. And then Matt Gay hit a field goal right around 50 yards. And the Bengals' second-team offense, they missed a field goal wide left. Colts' second-team offense misses a field goal wide right. And then that was the end of that. That's a wrap for training camp after a rough start. Anthony Richardson finishes 10 for 21 with a touchdown and an interception. So he started the day 2 of 8. It wasn't looking good. The interception, by the way, was just a really good defensive play. I saw the video, and it was just a good play by a corner. I believe Taylor Britt came up, knocked the ball away, and as it was falling to the ground, I believe the safety came up and dove for it, was able to scoop it up for the interception. But again, after starting 2 for 8, ends up 10 for 21. So he finishes 8 for 13. Offense able to find a rhythm, flip that switch. And here's how I feel about it. Okay, I think that they were able, like when I say flip the switch, I think that the Colts were coming into this practice, like it felt like they weren't. The intensity wasn't there. I don't think they were trying to go too hard. They don't want to get any injuries, right? We're getting close to the season. It's like, let's not go crazy. Let's work on some stuff, but let's not get anybody hurt. That seemed like, right, and whether it was that or whether it was just the juice wasn't there to begin the day, right? They just weren't ready for what the Bengals were going to bring. They weren't ready for the energy that the Bengals were going to bring. Whatever the case, they flipped that switch. Right, and we've seen them flip that switch in the past. Right, last season against the Rams, they flipped that switch, and they start putting points on the board, and defense starts getting going. And I just think that this team, we at least have the ability to flip that switch. Now, you can't go getting in situations like the Rams game from last year where you're getting down early a lot. You don't want to get down early all the time and have to come back and have to flip that switch. You need to flip that switch when you come out of the tunnel. That switch needs to be flipped coming out of the tunnel, and it needs to stay flipped throughout the game. That's what we need in order to win and compete with the best of them, because what happened, early on in practice, like we were getting embarrassed. There was a lot of stuff coming out. That first hour of practice was tough. Looking at the updates coming out on Twitter, the things people were saying, Cincy and some of their beat reporters and some of the stuff that was being said, and some of the quotes that came out from some of the players, some of the Bengals defense, like it just wasn't good. You can't go into week 1 against the Texans like that. Okay, we just can't start the season just going in at home and getting absolutely dominated by the Texans. It just can't happen. Okay, Colts have a problem winning week 1. Okay, luckily we're at home, so that helps, but we don't win week 1, so that we need to get over that, right? But it's the Texans coming in. The Texans are the hottest team in the NFL, right? The team everybody wants to be behind. Who's going to take down Patrick Mahomes? It's going to be C.J. Stroud and the Texans. No, it's going to be Indianapolis and the Colts. We had a video talking about the Colts and how I think they could end up winning a Super Bowl and what would have to happen for us to get there, and why I believe that there's a chance we can be that. If you didn't watch that video, again, after we're done here, go check that one out as well. But, I just – The offense right now worries me from some of the stuff that's come from training camp, early on in training camp, and with what happened yesterday. Just really, I'm just worried. I'm trying not to be doom and gloom about it. The offense is worrying me, though. That's just me being completely honest. I need to see the offense has got to prove it to me. Then you have Colts defensive tackle Raekwon Davis was asked if he can be ready to play soon after missing several weeks. He said, quote, "Hell yeah, let's go." So exactly what you want to see there. Guy ready to get back on the field. 3 weeks away, still the start of the season. Coming up on us real quick. And I can't wait. Is it 3 weeks? I thought we were going to play this Thursday. Right, and teams play this weekend. Everybody plays their last preseason game, then takes 1 week off, and then plays the next week, right? I could have sworn it was. Is it 3 weeks away? I thought it was only 2 weeks away. That's unfortunate. But then here you have Colts rookie center Tanner Bortolini did not practice today due to a toe injury. Head coach Shane Steichen says he doesn't see Bortolini missing an extended amount of time, but he's going to miss some time. Danny Pinter was a backup center today against the Bengals. So Tanner Bortolini, luckily, not going to be requiring surgery on his toe injury. He's going to be able to play through it or whatever, come back from it a lot sooner than Jelani Woods is going to come back from his. And then here, just save this one just to show that Will Mallory was a bright spot and to continue to talk about, hey, Will Mallory probably making the roster. When you look at Jelani Woods, it's up in the air whether or not he's going to be sticking around. Okay, remember, Shane Steichen, this regime of offensive coaches did not bring Jelani Woods into the NFL. Okay, for everything, for all the gifts that he has. Shane Steichen's never been able to coach Jelani Woods on the field outside of a tiny amount of action in preseason. So wouldn't be completely surprised if they decide to cut bait with Jelani after not being able to stay on the field. And Jake Arthur here, yesterday Colts offense started promising before quickly devolving into a low point of camp, leaving Bengals defenders unimpressed and frustrated with the lack of competition. But then it's like they flipped a switch as if nothing happened. I added this one just because I thought it was interesting. I had thought about everything. I looked at everything, and I made the thumbnail. And then I came to look just to make sure there weren't any other updates I needed. And I saw this one. It was like, hey, look, flipping the switch. We flipped the switch. Whatever that flip switch is, we need to keep it flipped going into week 1. Jonathan Taylor gets to play 1.5 quarters tomorrow. Yeah, being able to see Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor play more than one drive together is going to be great. You have to assume at some point they'll figure it out. I hope going into the game, just so curious. There's so many questions because there were so many injuries last year. We didn't get to see everybody together. Just how's everything going to operate? You would think, in theory, it should operate better. With Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor, all the weapons that we have, it should all operate better. Just it hasn't through training camp, so I'm really curious how things are going to play out once we get into real game situations. We're going to run so many plays per game. It's going to be fun. Yeah, right. Yeah, because Steichen has one of the best paces of play, right? Obviously, you have sorry, I got the dog barking in the background. Sorry about that. Let's see, where were we at here? We never Flacco, no matter how good he looks. Oh, I assume you mean you hope we never play Flacco. I mean, yeah, ideally, yeah, Flacco never has to touch the field. That would be the ideal situation. But because the NFL is the NFL, running quarterback, anything happens, I feel really good having Flacco on the roster. I hope so, man. I hope our D-line is overwhelming. That's the idea, right? You go and get a guy like Latu. You have guys like Tyquan Lewis, Kwity Paye, hoping he takes the next step. Obviously, losing Ebicom is definitely a problem. But I think Latu picks up for that and then some, right? I think Latu's probably going to be the sack leader for us, right? Assuming he's able to get on the field. I like Tyquan Lewis. Tyquan Lewis shouldn't start. Let's just get that out of the way. Okay, I'm not like I said, I like Tyquan Lewis. Latu is different. Latu is a special football player. If we go into week 1 and Latu's not starting, Gus Bradley should be fired right away. Like, what are we doing? Yes, we all like Tyquan. I know Chris Ballard loves him some Tyquan Lewis. I get it. Tyquan Lewis isn't better than Latu. I don't care how long he's been in the league. Latu has everything. He has all the moves. He has the skill set. He has the speed, the explosiveness. Like, Latu has it. Latu needs to be playing. That's my 2 cents on it. Nobody asked me, but that's my 2 cents on it. Tyquan Lewis shouldn't be starting over Latu going into the season. Oh, let me just come here, try to get a quick update, make sure there's nothing that we're missing. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know if you guys like this or not. Let me do this.
This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue. This is our Colts. Whether win or lose, we love them. For the shoe, beat the Bengals. Let's cook 'em and eat their strides. This is our team. Go Colts!
Shout out Seth. Saw that he made it on to like NBC in Arizona or something. They ended up putting his song about the Cardinals on the news, and now he's making this one. And I remember last year seeing this stuff on Twitter. Right, I follow Scony Colt, and he was posting this stuff last year every week. And then this year, I don't know who ended up seeing it. The right person ended up seeing it, and maybe Scony Colt. I mean, his account's been on like the Pat McAfee show. Some of his tweets have been on the Pat McAfee show, on the news. So, fairly big Colts account, right? So probably him. But either way, he ends up making it into the national spotlight. That's a song for this week. This is our team. This is our Colts. We bleed blue. Let's go and beat the Bengals, right? We should dominate the Bengals. Again, our starters are playing against the Bengals backups. That's what is happening for the upcoming game. And we just want to see our offense be explosive. We need to see our offense. We need to see the passing game work, rushing game, open some lanes. We need to dominate. We should dominate the first half. And I might end up betting for us, the first half spread to be plus 10 for the Colts. I expect us to be able to dominate that first half. Yeah, that's going to be that. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Going to continue pumping on content out. We're going to be live for the game tomorrow, so come on, drop by. Going to be doing that. Going to be doing that every Sunday going forward. So keep on, after Thursday, it'll be every Sunday. I'm pretty sure all our games are on Sunday this year. So make sure you subscribe, have notifications on. Any friends or family that are Colts fans, go ahead, push this channel out to them. Let them know they need to subscribe and have notifications on. And, of course, keep coming back for more content. Appreciate you stopping by for another live stream. And, as always, take care of yourself. Take care of each other.